What makes you great? This is a question that on one level may be difficult to answer without sounding cocky. But it's also a question that helps you become who you can be. Everyone goes on a journey of self-discovery, and one of the most important parts is discovering your strengths. What are your talents? What are your gifts? In Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, the thesis was anyone can be Spider-Man, which can be interpreted as anyone can be great. And in that greatness, only you can control it. You have these gifts, and it is for you to use them. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Miguel proposes the main antithesis to this statement. It claims this greatness they possess is destined, and there is a set path for any individual that wishes to be great. A great allegory of how the path of success is presented to the young generation. The expectation is to go through the education system, get a degree, get a well-paying 9-to-5 job, and climb the ladder. Similarly, the expectation for Spider-Man is to go through set events, canon events if you will, that make Spider-Man who he is. The death of Uncle Ben, the death of a police captain, etc. It is clear that to possess this greatness, there is no way around it. However, in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it suggests the path is yours to pave, and greatness comes from your actions. This is evident in Miles' pathway meeting and escape from the Spider Society, Peter B. Parker being a parent, and the Spot's trailblazing journey to self-improvement. Miles, as the main protagonist, is quite literally the path of the story. It was all of his actions that led him where he is right now. One of his main struggles as a spider person is deciding who he wants to be. He is torn between Spider-Man and Miles, but he shows a clear bias towards Spider-Man. He misses classes and wants to study quantum physics to meet his spider friends. This sacrifices a lot of Miles' interest. You may say, they are the same person, but from the Miles we knew from Into the Spider-Verse, he was closer with his parents, and art was his main interest. That was his spark. He quite literally used that spark to design his suit, in the first movie, making the identity his own. So to sacrifice all of that for Spider-Man shows a clear intention of the path he wishes to go down. It's also interesting because in the first film, the idea of choice was talked about a lot. It's almost like the writers planned the whole thing. Throughout the first film, Miles constantly did not have a choice. He couldn't choose to leave the school. He didn't choose to be Spider-Man. At least that's what he thought. It was the moment he got to choose where he flourished. Jeff gave him the choice to choose how he uses his gifts. He got to choose to be Spider-Man by breaking free. He got to choose who he wants to be, but at the same time, he has to pretend to be someone else. And just like the counselor said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Miles can't be two people at once. He can't be Miles and Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. And so right now, Miles is trying to walk two paths, and as Genki suggests, he's stretched too thin. This exact reason was why Miles failed to capture the Spot. He was trying to live two lives, too occupied first of all to take the Spot seriously and apprehend him, ultimately to still fail to sit through the whole meeting about his education. It was his sloppiness that led to the upcoming events, all because Miles failed to walk his path. Miles needs to start making the choices to live the life he chooses, and later in the movie, he demonstrates exactly that. Upon being captured by Miguel O'Hara, Miles quite literally paves his own path home, demonstrating by making your own choices, it will lead you to success. To start off, Miles had been choosing the path of Spider-Man. He chose to study quantum physics to travel across dimensions. He followed Gwen into another universe and was dying to get into the Spider Society. But once he understood the reality of his decisions and what it meant to move forward, he finally understood what was important to him, and he made choices around it. With help, he learns to trust himself, trust in his power, and fully utilize it. He was always hesitant with his Venom ability, as shown by his montage of mishaps while we were caught up to his timeline. It was the moment he stopped hesitating, the magic happened. He manages to escape from the Spider Society by luring all the people away from the facility, creating a clear path towards his goal of getting home. the minute Miles dedicated himself to one path, he succeeded, showing by working towards one goal wholeheartedly, success will follow. This in turn helped Gwen, showing her it's possible. She has neglected a part of her to choose to be Spider-Woman. She ignored all her relationships, trying to follow the canon, which contributed to her failure. She was no longer herself, just another spider person in the multiverse. Now on to Peter. It was fitting to see Peter B. Parker having a happy ending. He managed to make it work in the end. Being the oldest Spider-Man out of the main group will mean he is the most experienced, and he embodies this thesis. From the beginning, when we were first introduced to him, he struggled. He was afraid to move forward, to become a parent. He simply couldn't make it work. After his experience with Miles, there's a difference. He is trying to make it work. He wants kids, and most importantly, he is living one life. He is set on being a parent in hopes Mayday will be as great a person as Miles. This allows Peter to live a happy life because he is doing what he wishes to do. He is still Spider-Manning, but what he chooses to do is to be a great parent. As we all know, there are no happy endings for Peter Parker. Lastly, the most essential character of all, the Spot. The Spot is a great villain because he's not really evil to start with. He doesn't have a job anymore, so he needs money, and then he gets treated like a joke by Spider-Man. So he's upset, and most importantly, he's dedicated to prove Miles wrong. What makes someone successful is the dedication they have. The dedication to do one specific thing is what makes great athletes, scientists, authors, or just about any job. When you work towards one goal, it's impossible to fail. You may get unlucky along the way, but if you never quit, you will always reach your goal. That's what the Spot does. He dedicates himself to get more holes, and that's exactly what he does. He wants to become Spider-Man's arch nemesis, and that's exactly what he becomes. He shows if you walk a path consistently, nothing can stop you. It's clear that the pathway to greatness stems from your own actions rather than preconceived notions. There is no one recipe for success. It is up to you to make it what it is. The whole Spider-Verse has proven this. They revolutionized animation and continued to do so. It wasn't some Pixar recipe or in fact any other animation style they followed. They made their own unique style that can only complement a comic book movie and nothing else. It is their uniqueness that has made them stand out from the rest. So the question for you is, what makes you great?